Roland Garros 2026 was not supposed to go like this. The biggest favorites in the world, gone. World number ones, eliminated. Defending champions, sent packing. This wasn't just an upset tournament. This was a bloodbath. What happens when the king doesn't even show up? And then the rest of the kingdom burns down? Because that's exactly what happened in Paris. Every day seemed to produce another headline nobody saw coming. Every round delivered another shock. And by the second week, the draw looked completely unrecognizable. If you picked the eventual quarterfinalists before the tournament started, you might be the greatest tennis fortune-teller in history. Let's dive into the most shocking French Open in modern tennis history. Carlos Alcaraz, the pre-tournament favorite and two-time champion, pulled out injured before the tournament even began. The Spaniard had been expected to dominate on clay once again. Many fans were already imagining another title run and perhaps another classic final. The draw was suddenly wide open, but nobody expected this level of chaos. Day 1. And the upsets started immediately. American number 7 seed Taylor Fritz was knocked out in the very first round by fellow American Nisha Basavaredi. A deep run had been expected from Fritz. Instead, his tournament was over before it had even begun. But that was just the appetizer. Jessica Pegula, the number 5 seed on the women's side, was sent home in 3 tough sets by Australia's Kimberly Burrell. One of the most consistent players on tour was suddenly out of the tournament. The message was clear from the start. Nobody was safe at Roland Garros 2026. Fans began looking at the draw differently. Seedings no longer seemed to matter. Rankings no longer guaranteed survival. And the biggest shocks were still to come. Then it got ridiculous. Elena Rybakina, the number 2 seed and one of the most powerful players on tour, lost in the second round to Yulia Starodubtseva. A player ranked outside the top 50 had just taken down one of the tournament favorites. After dropping the opening set, Starodubtseva refused to go away. Point by point, game by game, she turned the match around and completed one of the biggest upsets of the entire tournament. But hold on, you haven't heard anything yet? Jannik Sinner, the world number 1, the player many called unbeatable coming into the season. He looked completely in control. 2 sets to love up, leading 5-1 in the third, serving for the match. The finish line was right there. Then everything changed. The cramps hit. Suddenly, the momentum shifted. Juan Manuel Cerundolo, ranked around 56 in the world, sensed an opportunity and refused to let it go. What followed was one of the most astonishing turnarounds tennis fans have seen in years. The crowd could hardly believe what they were watching. A match that appeared finished somehow came back to life. And when the final point was played, the world number 1 was out. Gone in the second round. Let that sink in. And then came Novak Djokovic, the 24-time Grand Slam champion, one of the greatest competitors the sport has ever seen. Even as questions surrounded his physical condition, many still believed he could find a way through. Standing across the net was 19-year-old Brazilian sensation João Fonseca, a player viewed as one of the future stars of the game. What followed felt symbolic. Djokovic built a 2-set lead. Experience appeared to be winning once again. But Fonseca never stopped believing. The teenager fought back, set after set, in a 5-hour epic that had fans glued to every point. The atmosphere became electric. Every game felt bigger than the last. And when Fonseca completed the comeback, it felt like more than just an upset. It felt like a passing of the torch moment. Djokovic was eliminated, and a new star was born. The women's draw was just as brutal. Defending champion Coco Gauff was out in the third round, to Anastasia Potapova. Then came another result few people thought possible. Iga Świątek, the Queen of Clay, a multiple-time Roland Garros champion, a player who had made winning in Paris look routine. On her 25th birthday, she lost in the fourth round to Marta Kostyuk. It was her earliest exit at Roland Garros since 2019. For years, opponents arrived in Paris wondering how they could beat Świątek. This time, someone finally did. And then came the biggest shock on the women's side. Aryna Sabalenka, the world number one, cruising with a set and a 4-1 lead in the quarterfinals against Diana Schneider. Everything pointed toward another victory. Then the match completely flipped. Schneider found another gear. Sabalenka suddenly had no answers. 10 consecutive games. 10. One of the most stunning momentum swings of the tournament. Sabalenka was out, and afterward, she admitted she simply couldn't explain how the match had escaped her grasp after being in such a commanding position. By the time the dust settled, the quarterfinals featured players almost nobody predicted. Italian warriors like Flavio Cobolli and Matteo Arnaldi making deep runs, young guns, dark horses, and players seizing opportunities nobody expected to exist. 2026 will go down as one of the most unpredictable, chaotic, and unforgettable French Opens of the Open era. No Alcaraz, no Sinner, no Djokovic, no Świątek, no Sabalenka in the later stages. The giants fell, the draw exploded, and tennis history was written in chaos. So, who's left standing? Who will lift the trophy on the clay of Philippe Chatrier? Drop your prediction in the comments right now. If you're loving this chaos, smash that like button, subscribe for more Grand Slam breakdowns, and turn on notifications because we're just getting started with this wild 2026 season. Let me know in the comments, which upset shocked you the most? I'll see you in the next one.